Game 2 of the NLCS is here. The Phillies jumped out quickly yesterday. They never looked back. They took a one-game lead in this best-of-7 series. Who will win Game 2 today? And what are my best bets in today's playoff showdown? Find out right now on the Free 3. What's up, guys? It's your boy Noble Living, back with another DYF Bets video where I'm breaking down my favorite picks and plays of the day as we just try to get to the bag together and make some money. I told you guys we were long overdue for a sweep on the channel, and guess what came last night? That's right, a sweep. Let's get it. 3 games. 3 winners your way. We cashed in early on the Rangers first 5 money line, and then we also cashed in on Monday Night Football bet on our teaser, the Chargers +8 and the under 57, no sweat bet there. And then we also cashed on late night Zach Gallen over 4.5 hits allowed. He got knocked up early. 3-0 sweep on the day. You can see our year-to-date record right here. Oh, we love to see it. We're now back over 500 in all sports for the month of October. Now let's continue to keep that momentum going. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel as we're officially 1 week away from NBA opening night. You guys don't want to miss any of my basketball plays, so you definitely want to make sure you subscribe to the channel. Now let's dive into this NLCS matchup and our first best bets. For our first best bet of the day, I'm going to go with a total in this Phillies and D-backs matchup. Game 1 featured the Batmans of both of these teams' pitching rotations, and now we get to see the Robins of these rotations. We got the number 1 Zach out of the ways, so let's get the number 2 guys, Merrill Kelly and Aaron Nola, set to face off in this matchup, and both of these pitchers have been solid to start their postseason. Merrill Kelly, 6.1 innings, 3 hits, no runs allowed, 5 strikeouts in his matchup against the D-backs, while Aaron Nola, he has had 2 starts so far in this playoff. Started off against the Marlins in that wild card series, 7 innings, 3 hits of no run ball, 3 strikeouts in that matchup, and then he followed it up in that Braves series, going 5 2/3 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, giving up in that one to go with 9 strikeouts, which was a 10-2 win for the Phillies in that matchup. So really good pitching to start off the postseason for both of these guys. So when you start looking into the numbers a little bit deeper, you have to start taking a few things with a grain of salt. Like for an example, Merrill Kelly, he pitched really good against the Dodgers, but also he was up 9-0, right? So he didn't really have to worry about too much. But when you look at his numbers a little bit more, then you realize, okay, Merrill Kelly's actually been pretty consistent with keeping his ERA pretty low. He's given up 2 earned runs or less in 4 straight games dating back to the regular season, and 7 of his last 10 games. That's what we love to see. So Merrill Kelly, even though he didn't really get tested too much against the Dodgers, he's been on a pretty consistent streak of keeping those run totals low. And then Aaron Nola, we know that he loves to pitch in October. He says he likes to pitch when the weather is a little bit colder. When he's got this playoff atmosphere, he can really get a better command over his pitches. So because of that, I'm going to go with the Phillies and D-backs first 5 under 4.5 runs on this one, -130 on FanDuel. Now some books do have under 4. I do like that, but I would pay for the juice just to get to 4.5 so we can buy that extra insurance, because I like the way that both of these pitchers are looking right now, and I really think that we're going to get a defensive matchup in this one, at least through the first 5 innings. Now, like I mentioned, Merrill Kelly's been really strong, 2 earned runs or less in 4 straight matchups. But now when you also look at Aaron Nola, he's been very strong as well for the Phillies over this entire postseason, only giving up 2 earned runs and about 13 total innings there. Now, if you are worried about the Phillies offense, rightfully so, but when you dive into their playoff numbers, you'll see that they actually have not scored a ton of runs in the first 5 or given up a lot of runs in the first 5. They've actually stayed under the 4.5 first 5 total in 5 of the 7 games so far this postseason. Now, the D-backs on their side, if you take away that offensive explosion that they had against Kershaw where they scored 9 runs in that first inning, or 6 runs, whatever it was, right? And then also if you take away that first game of the postseason when them and the Brewers were exchanging blows really early, they've also stayed under this first 5 total in 4 of their 6 games. So if you're like, oh, both of these offenses have scored a lot of points, we saw them score 8 runs yesterday, even that game finished under at the 8.5 mark, right? Then you will realize that actually pitching has dominated for both of these teams, and they've really just been choosing their spots, a home run here, a timely hit here, maybe an error there. So a lot of these games actually have been closer and more low scoring, at least through the first 5 innings. Now, I do worry about both of these bullpens as regression is due for both of them, as we saw both of them go kind of deep yesterday. So because of that, I think we're just going to isolate this game to the first 5, and I'm going to go under 4.5 runs in the D-backs Phillies. Merrill Kelly, Aaron Nola, 2 pitchers have been really dialed in so far this postseason, so let's go with that as the first best bet of the day. Now, for our second best bet of the day. I'm going to go to a player prop, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to combine this pick. I'm going to give you the analysis for it, but I'm going to also give you kind of a few other plays that I like based on this pick. So I'm going to give you a few best bets all rolled into one. So pay attention, okay? So I'm going to go with Bryce Harper over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, minus 105 on Bovada. Make sure you shop around because you probably can get it at plus 100 value on some of your books. Now, this is different from your total bases line. You guys know sometimes I take the total baseline, and I do like Bryce Harper's 0.5 total base over, but it's kind of juiced right now. It's about minus 180 on certain books, so that's a little bit way too much for me to pay, but I would put that in like a parlay or something. I do like that as like a parlay leg. But now I'm going with this hits, runs, RBIs in this matchup because at least we can take advantage of the fact that he might get walked, right? So let's take a look at what Bryce Harper has done so far this postseason. He's been absolutely on fire, on a tear for this Phillies team. Game 1 against the Marlins, 4 at-bats, 1 run, 1 hit, so he went over this total. Game 2 against the Marlins, 2 at-bats, 1 run, so he didn't get it. Game 1 against the Braves, 2 at-bats, 2 runs, 2 hits, 1 RBI. Game 2 against the Braves, 4 at-bats, 1 run, 1 hit. Game 3 against the Braves, 5 at-bats, 2 runs, 2 hits, 4 RBIs. In the Braves in the closeout series, he only got 1 hit. And then last night against the D-backs, 3 at-bats, 2 runs, 2 hits, 2 RBIs. You guys saw that first inning home run, so we would have cashed in right there and literally in the first at-bat. So that's what I like to see for Bryce Harper, and that is why I'm taking hits, runs, RBIs, because if you've looked at his stats, he's either getting a run or he's getting a hit in every single game. He's gone over this total in 5 of the 7 games, and the only 2 times that he missed is because he got walked pretty heavily. In those 2 matchups, he only registered 2 at-bats. So that's going to be my second best bet for you guys, which is Bryce Harper 1+ walk. So that's going to be my third best bet for you guys. Bryce Harper 1+ walk today. You can probably get at plus 100 odds on BetMGM. I saw it on at plus 100 odds. And this is a prop that I really like because Bryce Harper, these teams know that he's on a tear. He gets into a situation where maybe Trey Turner's on second base or third base, that he's got an empty first base. They might walk him, right? Or we've also seen Merrill Kelly pitch around guys like Bryce Harper in the past. I'm going to break that down for you in a second. But look at his walk numbers so far this postseason. Against the Marlins in Game 2, he had 2 walks. Against the Braves in Game 1, 2 walks. Against the Braves in Game 2, 1 walk. Against the Braves in Game 4, 2 walks. And then yesterday, 1 walk. So he's gone over this total in 5 of the 7 games. He has 1 walk. So that's why I really like this line today. His hits or runs RBIs, 5 out of 7 angle. His walk, 1+ walk, 5 out of 7 angle. And we know how good Bryce Harper has been hitting at home this year. Literally all the numbers this year tells us this guy's been absolutely on fire. He's batting .352 at home compared to .233 on the road. His on-base percentage goes up from .340 on the road to .459 at home. His slugging percentage almost doubles, goes from .374 on the road to .622 at home. So this is why I really like Bryce Harper in today's spot, because he's been absolutely on fire. Merrill Kelly, he's one of those guys that he does get strikeouts, he does get fly ball outs, he does limit the amount of runners that he puts on base. But you know what? Bryce Harper, the way that he's been hitting the ball, the form that he's been in, and he has some experience against Merrill Kelly in the past, I'm not going against that. He's faced Merrill Kelly 5 times in his career. He has 1 hit, and guess what he has? 1 walk against Merrill Kelly. So guess what? We're going to go with Bryce Harper over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, minus 105 odds right there. We're going to go with Bryce Harper to get 1 walk, plus 100 odds there. So those are 3 bets for you. I'm going to give you 1 extra bonus bet for today, okay? And that's Merrill Kelly over 1.5 walks. I'm doubling down on this walk angle, minus 130 on BetMGM. The reason why I really like this angle is because Merrill Kelly walks guys, right? We're getting 1.5 on the line here. This year, he's averaged a career high 3.5 walks per 9 innings. He's gone over this total of more than 1 walk in 6 straight games and 8 of his last 10 games dating back to the regular season. And when you look at his walk numbers even more, guess what? This is why I love that Bryce Harper walk prop, because his last start against the Dodgers, guess who he walked in that matchup? Freddie Freeman. You go back to the regular season, one of his walks against the Astros, which was his last start before the playoffs, well, guess who it was? Kyle Tucker. His last start before that Astros matchup was against the Yankees. Guess who one of his walks were? Aaron Judge. So it tells you he doesn't just walk everybody. He walks guys who are threats, guys who can do something when they make contact with the ball. So that's, to me, is the situation that Bryce Harper is going to be in today, depending on the situation, depending on, what Kyle Schwarber does, what Trey Turner does, what the guys do in front of him. But I really think that today, when you've got guys like Bryce Harper, Trey Turner, Castellanos, who's been on fire, who can turn on a pitch at any time, we've seen Mel Kelly say, you know what, Aaron Judge, you can take your base. You know what, Freddie Freeman, take your base. You know what, Kyle Tucker, you can take your base. You see what I'm saying? So because of that, I think that Mel Kelly's going to go over this total of 1.5 walks. Phillies are averaging about 3.7 walks per game so far this postseason, and I just love the way that the Phillies bats have been crushing pitchers, crushing home runs. So for me, I think that just makes these pitchers even more cautious about how they work the zone. So give me 3 bets all rolled into one to wrap this video up. So 4 best bets tonight in this NLCS matchup. D-backs Phillies first 5 under 4.5 runs. Bryce Harper hits, runs, RBIs. Bryce Harper to get a walk. Mel Kelly to go give up over 1.5 walks. Let's take it to the bank. 4 best bets, 4 winners that are coming your way tonight. Don't miss out on this. If you want some more plays today, because we got some college football Conference USA action going on today on this Tuesday night, make sure you click that link in the bio, join our Telegram group where I'm dropping more free winners every single day for you guys as we try to get to the bag and continue to beat the books. Let's get after it today. Let's have a great matchup in this D-backs Phillies game. Let's make some money, dictate your fate, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Later, guys.